All right, everybody, welcome to today's video. And today is the second part of my interview with Ola Nilsson. And today we're gonna go over the e-body convertible registry that he created and is maintaining. And what we're gonna do is talk about what's involved in the registry, what type of information, as well as what you can do if you currently own a convertible or are aware of a convertible e-body, how you can get in touch with him and possibly learn more about your car, or if your car isn't in the registry, add it to the registry. And at this time, I'd also like to thank Wade and Aster Ogle for hosting us for the duration of this interview and for making the connection for me and Ola to get together in the first place and having that introduction. It was a great day. We had a lot of fun that day talking about all of these classic Mopars, and I can't thank them enough for this opportunity. So that's enough of me talking at the moment. Let's go ahead and dive into this next part of the interview, talking about the e-body convertible registry. Enjoy. Some of your experiences led you to create a registry for the convertibles?
Yes, sir. I started the e-body convertible registry in 1997. Between 84 and 97, I had individually collected data, so to speak. It's not every car, it's the car that you came upon. If you happen to read a magazine that had some details of how the car was built, or a VIN. If you attended a car show, you noted, hey, well, that's a real Cuda with a 340 engine, or look at that, has a 444 barrel engine. Wow, you don't see that. So in the 80s as a young kid versus today, where it's more readily available, the internet and such, but back then it was tough. You had to travel around, you had to make your way across the nation to go to the big car show everybody talked about, you read about. So what I started to gravitate towards was a convertible version of the Cuda, and of course the sister, the Challengers. Through 89 through 93, I worked with a couple individuals. We shared data, and before you know it, the idea of having a registry developed itself. So in 1997, I went on the internet. We published a website. I've been running that ever since, and it was a 1970-71 Plymouth and Dodge e-body convertible registry. It started with maybe 100 cars, very low yield back in the day. You're a college kid, you don't travel that much. You weren't exposed to more cars than your surrounding area. I lived in several states by that time. It wasn't international yet. So developing an interest in adding more cars to at least a database. Before you know it, I had 500 cars. I knew 800 cars. It wasn't just the Cuda or the Barracuda, it was a 70, 71 Challengers, the RT for 70, 71 Barracudas, 71 Cudas, and then I started to group them together, engine sizes, and say, hey, look, there's supposed to be 5 of these made, or 7 of these made, and I have 3 of them. What about the others? So I developed this passion to try to find that car in magazines or word of mouth, or talking to that owner here. He goes, well, yeah, Bob or Joe down the street in the next town, he's got one, and I don't know what it is, so I'll go there and look. I'll meet him, try to see the car. What happened after that was I started to reach out on the internet. Mid-90s, 97, think about that, your own time frame. Say, how often were you on the computer? Did you do emails all the time? Do you walk around on your phone like we do nowadays? Of course we don't. But it was harder, but it was an avenue to gain more knowledge. Before you know it, I had 1,200 cars. And then there were some chances of that odd car that's been lost in time. An example, a Hemi Cuda convertible from 1970. Well, we know that there's supposed to be so many made, but we only know about a few of them. It was uncovered. It was hidden from the general public. Hey, let's take a look at it. There's the data on how it was built. And I developed a system of, why don't I share this information with other like-minded individuals? It is the United States. So the data in the registry is organized for individuals to see how the car was built originally. Not what it looks like today per se. Many people, they augment their cars or they personalize and change the color, add options, but what did it look like when it was first built? And that is what the information in the database is all about for the registry. As today, this morning, I re-looked at it. I have about 2,000 different cars
Wow.
in the e-body convertible registry.
That's amazing.
John, it's amazing because in the 2 years of the 2 makes, there was about 10,000 made. So that's 20% of all the cars that we know of. Now, some of them are destroyed and some of them are just a data plate somebody saved. It was crushed or burned or whatever. And some are unrestored examples. They're all in the registry, whether it's a Hemi convertible or a 6-cylinder. They're all the same in the convertible. They all have a place.
That's truly inspiring. I mean, it's especially with Chrysler because they don't have the records available as, say, like Ford with the Marty reports and things like that. Having folks like yourself going through and doing the legwork and traveling and getting all this information together, pull it together, is truly amazing. The amount of work and time that you've put in this, and then to be able to share that information with, like you said, like-minded individuals is truly remarkable. Because I know there are some out there that definitely they try and hoard as much as they can. Like, no, this is my work and this is all me. But the fact that you're putting this together and making it available is amazing.
Well, thank you for that, John. Yeah. On that note, a couple of points I wanted to cover is I might have the e-body convertible registry, but there's many individuals through the years I've met that have their own data collection, different makes, different models, and sometimes we collect that information. So if it's not a personal interest to you for a registry like I have, you would share that with the other individual. Well, it's not a business, it's a hobby, it's a passion. And those that run registries and we share knowledge amongst each other, I think is a really sound idea for the hobby in general. We don't want to hoard the information. I certainly don't want to sell information. That's not what I'm in it for. I think meeting new people, it's all about the cars. And I share freely. You have a convertible, gladly share the information with you. So on that note, with other registries, if I share information that doesn't pertain to my registry, I'll share it with you. Maybe you didn't know about that car. And then one day you come across a car you share with me. So our vast database grows and grows and grows. Hopefully one day we will gather enough data on a specific make and model. For instance, a 1971 Cuda. If we amass as much information as we collectively can together, maybe that day we can definitively say there's 14 built. Here are all 14. And of course there's some not proven to be correct, but the ones that are factory produced, now they're all documented and we know about them. So maybe next year we thought there was 14 and we find the lost one. Well, if it's proven to be correct, then we adjust our numbers. It's a fluid market because, as you mentioned, Chrysler didn't produce a listing like Pontiac you would have had or Marty reports are including in their information. Chrysler did, of course, it's a business, but it was lost in time. And some pieces of paper had made it out, some documents made it to individuals like myself. Earlier we spoke about something called an SG30 report. It's an option and accessory report that was produced by the company of Chrysler Corporation to evaluate makes and models options to see if they're going to be available for the next model year offering. Obviously something that was very poorly sold, it may not be offered next year. So there's a total units of cars built, and then there's a percentage of an option. Let's say a white vinyl top. Well, if I have 500 cars total and 30 of them came with a white vinyl top, excuse me, you can deduct a percentage of how many were built and how many were sold with that option. Is it a viable option for next model year? What we know today as a number that is accepted as that's how many units were built. An example, a 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible for the US market with a 4-speed, 2. All right, both of them are known. Easy example. But I did stress US market. There are 2 additional markets that these reports would have covered. One is a Canadian specification market, and one is, for 1971, an international specification market. I wish that all that information was available, but at one time Chrysler had that, and unfortunately it's not available to the average person. My friend and I have worked through many years to gather as many hardtop 71 Hemi Cuda data pieces that we can put together. The US specifications built ones, the Canadian specification built ones, the international specification built ones. A few years ago, we figured there was about 122 of those cars built.
Wow.
Well, today, we know of 108 different pieces of information, some fully documented, some maybe just a VIN and description of the car. So it's registries such as that, when people combine efforts, cars that you knew, cars that I knew. I come from the East Coast, you come from the West Coast. You were in South Africa and you know about one interesting car. Oh, nobody hears about that here at home. So if we gather our resources, if we can fulfill the entire list of known, possible known, and maybe future known cars put together, then we can truly be that guy that says, I do have one of 18 built, not just guessing from a number that we believe is true.
Yeah, and pulling all this history together and documenting it for future generations is truly inspiring work and amazing work, and just makes the hobby that much better and the community that much better for the long-term sustainment of these amazing vehicles.
Absolutely, and it's not just the Cudas that deserve to be recognized and collectively put into a database for whomever is interested in it. There are some people that have restrictions. I ask, if you have a convertible and you care for the registry, please contribute a car's information, and then I gladly share what I know about the other cars. I have connected interesting pieces of information from past owners to a future owner. They didn't know where the car came from. They bought it from a salesman somewhere. They bought it on eBay, had no idea. I go back into my personal files, not that I share with anybody who's in the registry, but I have personal files on each car, and I will share that with the current owner. Sometimes they're very surprised. I didn't realize that that had happened to the car, or it was that color when, or it's always been original. Yes, it has. Here's documentation. Here's pictures from 1972, 3, 4. Then it was sold to the son, and he's had it in his garage. And oh, you bought it off of the internet last year? Would you like those pictures? So this is what I think is the best part of the hobby for me personally, and many other people that have registries. We share data. Of course, I can't share information on things I don't have much information on, or perhaps not as much of an interest. I mean, all cars are interesting, but I can't tell you how many 1966 Dart are still around. I don't know, but somebody does. And I know somebody that has a registry of that interest. So there's always a connection to be made.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you about the Convertible registry, or if they're interested in getting copies of your book, is there a great way for people to get in touch with you?
Yes, there is, and I share knowledge freely. So if you own a 1970-71 E-body convertible, I'd be happy to add your car to the registry and email you, or print out, postmail you the registry. And for those that might be concerned, no personal information is included, no car locations are included, just the basic data of the car and how it was built originally.
I have your email posted right here at the bottom of the screen. I'll also include it in the description below for the video, so that way you can just click on it and send the email directly to Ulla, so you can reach out and see what type of information you can share and what he may have on your individual car that you currently own.
Awesome. So if you reach out to me, I'll get back to you. My line of work, I do travel quite a bit internationally, so sometimes the internet is a little slow, but I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
All right, everybody, that concludes our discussion today on the e-body convertible registry. And I hope you found this information useful as always. If you did, please hit that like button, give me that thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously with that YouTube algorithm. And of course, you want to keep up to date with my future uploads, including more videos like this. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell as well, so that way YouTube will keep you up to date of all my future uploads. And as always, guys, I will see you the next video.